Thank you.
We have more now on the deal between Israel and Hamas that could free at least 50 hostages held in Gaza, including some Americans. The youngest American hostage is 3-year-old Abigail Moore-Idan. She could be among those freed. Abigail was kidnapped on October 7th after her parents were murdered by Hamas terrorists in their community near the border with Gaza. With us now are Abigail's great-aunt Liz, Hirsch Naftali, and her cousin, Liz's daughter, Noah Naftali. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. I notice you're wearing the number 46, which means what to you both?
So 46 is the amount of days since innocent civilians were abducted from their communities. And 46 is the amount of days that our niece, Noah's cousin, Abigail, has been a hostage.
And what are you hearing, Liz, about what is happening to Abigail? When she will be released? Is she among the hostages? What exactly do you know?
So we have heard really nothing other than what people are hearing in the press and the news. What we know is that Abigail is a 3-year-old hostage. She's turning 4 on Friday. And that the first group should be children. Abigail is an American-Israeli child. And we are hoping and praying that she is in one of the first groups.
Dude, that is out of fucking control, okay? Like, stop being weird as fuck, dude. This is a 3-year-old. Have some fucking sense of respect, okay? Some, like a little bit of decency. I mean, there's plenty of people who also said that it's, like, really fucked up that what's going on. But Jesus Christ, dude. So many of you love LARPing. Like, I know it's, like, really fucking stupid to constantly harp on this shit, but there are definitely people that love LARPing as violent revolutionaries that are unironically to the right of Hamas themselves. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Come on, dude. Have a universal principle, okay? Sympathy for a fucking 3-year-old that's being held hostage, please. As about to fucking turn 4. There weren't that many people, but it's like still frustrating to even have one person say shit like this. Don't Google the lady talking. No, I'm not going to Google the lady talking. Because I don't care about her. I care about the child. Okay? What? Hundreds of 3-year-olds died on the other side? Exactly. And that's really fucked up. What do you mean? You think it's like, it's okay to kidnap a 3-year-old kid? No, of course it's not okay.
Groups, but we only can know that's our hope, but we haven't had any confirmation. We haven't seen any lists. And so we are going with the belief that because she's 3 years old and no child should be a hostage, no child should be in this situation, that she will be early in the releasing.
But for the first time, Noah, you must feel some degree of hope.
I wonder if she feels that way about Palestinian kids, though. You know what I'm saying?
Hope, at least cautious optimism. You know, we're
like she says, no child should be held hostage. Question I would ask is, okay, there's hundreds of children currently locked up under indefinite detention in Israeli facilities for literally no reason, like no evidence whatsoever. It's called secret evidence. They don't ever have to reveal it. They have no legal recourse. It's a military tribunal. It's a military court. They're being fucking tortured. Do you think that's okay? What do you think about that? I would love to hear her perspective on that. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't believe that, but I think she's more of a reactionary American. I don't know. I don't know if she's liberal or not.
Please let this be true. We know how quickly it can turn. Tell us about what you're thinking, because you were in Israel on October 7th.
Yeah, we are cautiously hopeful. Every day, 46 days since October 7th has felt like October 7th for us.
Yeah.
As we wonder and pray, and as our hearts are with our little cousin.
Yeah. Now, you were not with her when she was taken, but you have been in contact with family members. What were you told about what happened on October 7th?
The wildest part is, like, if you ever listen to Palestinians, both on Twitter or off Twitter, even when you listen to fucking, like, the Al-Qassam Brigade people, half the time they're just talking about, like, what they want to do once the occupation is over, like, they can be free. Palestinians on Twitter regularly talk about how They do not want to fucking forcibly expel the Jews. And then sometimes there are LARPers in the fucking left, in the West, in the Western world, that assume a more aggressive stance than the motherfucking Palestinians who have experienced some of the worst unimaginable atrocities under the banner, under a flag that has a Star of David on it, and they do not have anti-Semitism in their heart. So why the fuck are you chirping in a way that like comes across as anti-Semitic? Yeah, Palestinians IRL as well. It blows my mind. I will straight up, I will say this much. It blows my fucking mind, especially with all of the Palestinians that I've met, that they're not even remotely anti-Semitic. I'm sure there are anti-Semitic Palestinians out there too, but it fucking blows my mind. If a flag with a Star of David on it was slapped at the next, slapped on the side of a fucking F-16 that ends up dropping a bomb on my house, I'm gonna be like, okay, Jewish people did that, like 100%. And even then, they are literally not, like they're not anti-Semitic for the most part. So why is it that I see fucking random dudes, ostensibly on the left, saying shit that's more aggressive than a Palestinian whose fucking family has been eviscerated? Chill out. Not a religious conflict. It never has been.
Abigail's mother was shot in front of her children, a 10-year-old, 6-year-old, and Abigail. She ran out to her father, who picked her up in his arms and was gunned down while holding her. We thought at the beginning that Abigail had died, but we later found out.
Yeah. They are anti-America for understandable reasons. That's the funniest thing. That's also the funniest situation, is that like half the fucking time, this is so heartbreaking, by the way, but half the time, they are just shitting on America, like nonstop. I mean, Hasan Nasrallah, the fucking secretary general of Hezbollah, is like, yeah, there's Arab anti-Semites out there. They're fucking stupid. They're stupid for being anti-Semitic. Our problem is not with the Jews. It's with America. It's not even with Israel. It's like it's America. Israel does whatever fucking America wants in the region. And he's right. He's literally right. That's why all this song and dance is so wild to me. Like the whole back and forth, like, oh man, we try really hard to do a ceasefire, and then they couldn't do it, but they did. Oh, thank God. Look at Joe Brandon, elderly statesman. He did this. Thank you, Joe. Last week, he's like, the only good Palestinian child is a dead one. No ceasefire. No way, Jose. Like 5 days ago, he's like talking about fucking how we cannot have a ceasefire. What the fuck are you talking about? And then everyone's like, wow, our brave elderly statesman, he loves peace. He loves peace so much. He did this.
She survived. Her father was able to shield her with his body. She crawled out.
The word children is being thrown around. I don't think there are 3-year-olds in Israeli detention. Are you sure you want to argue this point? Because I know there have been 5-year-olds. But are you really going to do the actually it's a phobophilia argument? So it's okay if it's a 10-year-old? That's not a child. A 14-year-old? That's not a child. A 16-year-old? That's not a child. That's what you're saying? 16-year-old adult? Is that the argument you want to make? 17-year-old adult? I can't cite a source, but they're as young as 12 that can be officially corroborated. I mean, they literally have caged, unironically, babies in the past, like actual babies. They've also broken the hands of fucking 5-year-olds in the past as well. PalestineChronicle.com. 3-year-old Palestinian boy detained by Israeli soldiers in Hebron. Video. The child, Asad al-Din Ibrahim Abul Hawa, 14, from Tor neighborhood in occupied Jerusalem, was injured by the Israeli army during an Israeli raid. Meanwhile, an Israeli court decided to keep in detention a wounded child who is currently at an Israeli hospital receiving treatment for severe burns. What is this? This boy does not look like an adult. Thread. Israeli authorities have agreed to release 150 Palestinian prisoners, including children, as a part of a 4-day truce agreement with Hamas. Now, here's the question, though. Why did you immediately run to that assumption that, like, the government could not be simply this fucking violent, right? And I get that. For the record, I get that. I understand it, dude. Dude, when I first started learning about this shit, I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no way they did this. There's no way. Like, no way they sniped children, like, deliberately. You know what I mean? In 2018, the March of Return, not that at that point I already had made up my mind, but, like, every single new thing that I find out, and there is still a litany of new information that even I was unfamiliar with. Even if my heart says that is too evil to be true, I still verify. Because the reality is, sometimes it is fucking true. And many times, in the case of Israel, it is true. Problem is, like, the minors up to age 16 is currently 32. And even then, and minors in administrative detention number is 18. Problem is, we don't even fucking know the actual numbers because these are given by the Israeli security forces. They stopped tracking it adequately. I told my dad about the sterile rose the other day, and I had to repeat it like 3 times for him to understand what was actually being said. Yeah. The more this war continues, the more this bombing campaign continues, the more people will wake up to what the apartheid is. Okay? Every single day, there's a new fucking hater that comes in here to be like, Hasan, seems to me like you're quite the anti-Semite. I've heard a lot about your anti-Semitic tendencies. And then they just, like, stick around for a little bit and they go, holy fuck, what is happening in the world? I'm almost certain that we have doubled the number of Israeli leftists in Israel over the course of the past month and a half. Now, of course, that's not a profound feat when you consider that there was only 12 of them and now there's 24. But be hating Jews? Come on, dude. Ridiculous. Yeah, people are going to be like, wait, the Palestinians didn't commit crimes? Yeah. Are there Palestinians who commit crimes? Of course. Those stats don't also include people who were detained as adults and remain in custody until they became adults. Oh, yeah, that's the other part. Yep. Here. Ahmad Manazra is still in prison despite his worsening health. Palestinian prisoner arrested as a child. Ahmad Manazra is a famous case. He's 20 years old now, and he's developed serious mental health problems since his arrest as a child 7 years ago. He was arrested at the age of 13. He's 20 now, and he's served a prison sentence under unlawful, indefinite detention for 7 fucking years. They harshly interrogated him when they first apprehended him without a lawyer present in 2015. He was 13 years old. He's been in prison ever since and in solitary confinement since early November 2021. He's been diagnosed with schizophrenia, is suffering from psychotic delusions, and is severely depressed with suicidal thoughts. What? Check this. I already banned, but still should be addressed. Hasan, you want to be precious about toddlers in all life? Dude, there's a fucking fight for survival out there. Tons of Palestinian kids are dead. They're being exterminated, and we're supposed to feel bad about some 3-year-old spawn of an occupier whose government doesn't even care and is held hostage and wants to be used as a PR prop. This is what I mean when I say these are like LARPing-ass lefties, okay? This is the LARP, okay? Yes, you should. You absolutely should care about the Israeli 3-year-old baby because the 3-year-old baby has no fucking perspective on life. That is a disgusting fucking take to have. And let me tell you something. You're no different than the fucking supposed Zionists that you hate when you say shit like that. Okay? Now, obviously, the backlash that you will receive if you were to say stuff like this publicly in the Western world will be unimaginable in comparison to the backlash that any Zionist on any given day can say about Palestinian children. Let's be for fucking real for a moment. But that doesn't change the morality of your perspective. Okay? Especially when you are outlapping the Palestinians who are directly victimized. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've never heard a Palestinian say those words. Okay? And it's unimaginable because, like, the reality is, if you're Palestinian, like, holy shit, dude, this is your life. Like, of course you're going to fucking feel some type of way. Okay? Of course you're going to feel some type of way. It is the most normal feeling to have. I mean, think about the anger and frustration that Israelis feel towards Palestinians after fucking subjugating them, okay? If you can understand, if you have Israeli family members, if you have like ultra-Zionist family members, members of your family that live in Israel, and you see the hatred they have in their heart, and if you can understand in some ways where that comes from, like, oh, from the fear of the Intifada or whatever, right? Then you can certainly understand why Palestinians would have all of the fucking, all of the reason on the planet to be fucking incredibly hateful. It is just shocking to me in general that I don't hear it from Palestinians. It's like shocking. I hear it from Western leftists, but I don't hear it from Palestinians in that way. And I'm not discounting that. I mean, I'm sure there are.
From underneath him and went over to the neighbors who took her in, and they were also taken hostage, a mother, a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old who goes to preschool with Abigail.
Liz, how did you find out that she did in fact survive? Because
at
first you were told by who that Abigail had died, Noah?
By her older brother, who thought that that's what he had seen.
Yeah.
There were this 6 and 10-year-old, when they ran home, they locked themselves in a closet for 4.
By the way, Israel released the ages and the numbers, the names of the people that they have that they're slated to release, because Israel has a process for the next 10 days. You can go to the courts if you have been wronged by any of the people that they're about to release. You have 10 days to appeal that decision to release them. As far as I've seen, I looked through it. I looked through the names and like what they had done. And there's one person that was attempted, that was caught and convicted of attempted murder. But beyond that, it's mostly like women and children, suspicion of like talking to a terrorist or fucking throwing a rock or whatever. Appeal to the Palestinians? No. There's a list of 300 Palestinians that Israel said they're going to release. 150 in the first batch, and then slowly but surely they're going to release the other 150 as long as Palestinians keep releasing prisoners. Okay? Now, here's the thing. The list is out there for everyone to read, and the reason why the list is out there for the Palestinian hostages, the political prisoners that Israel is holding on to for moments like this, is so that if there is any victim of their violent acts or whatever, they can go and appeal in a court. An Israeli child did not choose to be born in the occupying nation, neither a Palestinian one in the occupied. Fucking unhinged take not to want to care about a 3-year-old toddler. Exactly. As if that toddler is alone is upholding the apartheid. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, dude. One other thing that I have to mention here that is like kind of lost in the conversation, because we only talk about this from like extremely self-centered Western perspectives and not the Israeli one, is that half of the people that got fucking slaughtered beyond like the Arab, the Palestinian citizens of Israel, and beyond like the Thai workers or whatever, half of the fucking people that got slaughtered in the kibbutz were literally fucking like unironic anti-apartheid activists and shit. Okay? Half of the people that are now advocating for a ceasefire have still maintained that moral clarity. Okay? Now, here's something important to understand. Those people that are maintaining that moral clarity, who know they're, whose family members are most likely also peaceniks themselves, are seen as lesser than some other types of hostages. You know what I mean? Because These are like the fuck. There is definitely in the reactionary Israeli right, there's this attitude of like, fuck around and find out. Like, you treated them like humans and they came to your fucking house and they killed you. They slaughtered you and then they fucking captured your family members. Like, there is this weird gloating as well. Like, these hostages are lesser than, you know what I mean? In the eyes of the Israeli government, these hostages are, you know, they're important, but like all that, not all that important, you know? It's really fucked up. Come on, dude. Kill all the kids, kill them all. Like, this person is like 100% fucking baiting. Doesn't realize that they'll probably get banned platform-wide when they say dumb shit like that. All right. The Hezbollah in memoriam posts are so wild to me, though. They always post like this. They always post these like these photos of the people that like got killed, like that got martyred by Israel. Find them in their most handsome. Anyway, even if they're banned, they still won't be able to avoid the top of the hour ad break. Hey, oh, fucking got him. Fucking got my ass. Yeah, that's right. Can you please say something about trans people who stand with Palestine? I'm trans and 100% with Palestinians, but I hear every day how Hamas would throw me off a roof. First of all, it's just pure racist. Like, that's the Hamas is ISIS shit, okay? Yeah, Hamas is homophobic for sure. But ultimately, you know who's more homophobic, I guess? If Hamas is executing one fucking gay person, you know how many fucking gay Palestinians Israel has executed? We don't know. We don't know the actual numbers, but again, you cannot defeat homophobia by killing every gay person first. You just have what is known as empathy. Okay? It's normal. It's normal to demonstrate solidarity with people whose living conditions are god-awful, who you, by way of paying your taxes, have contributed to their living conditions because our taxes go and fund these bombs. Okay? It's perfectly normal to demand liberation and emancipation for Palestinians and even Hamas that might not want the same for you. This is a normal thing. This is a normal perspective. I say all the time that I want universal health care, which also include Nazis. I get death threats on a fucking regular basis from Nazis, but I still want them to have health care because I understand that that is the most effective way to combat reactionary sentiment from spreading. Ridiculous. Yeah, Israel is so pro-LGBT that they're doing the gayest genocide of all time. They're so fucking gay, dude, with their genocide. Not only are they gay as hell with their genocide because they, like, you know, dangle the fucking LGBT flag in Gaza, but then they also, like, do semen extraction, okay, which is not even gay. At that point, it's, like, necrophilia. But, like, that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean anything. You can do homofascism over a group of individuals that are led by homophobic victims of homofascism, but it doesn't change the dynamic. Okay? A lot of these nations do not have time to go and fight for civil liberties for their own citizens because they're too busy fucking ducking bombs from Israel. You dig?
14 hours with a phone. They were our reporters. They were the people that were telling us what happened.
That's how you got your news.
That's how we got our news. Mm-hmm. And what ended up happening is it took a couple of days for the kibbutz to be cleared, for us to understand, and for people to get in. And we learned an eyewitness had actually seen this mother with her 3 children, Abigail, being led out of the kibbutz, out of their neighborhood. And then we did not find out any more information.
Oh, also, speaking of transphobia, at least, Iran is unironically less transphobic than America. They're very homophobic, and they will forcibly trans you, but they're definitely not transphobic.
Information. So we know that they were taken, and the next thing we learned is that they are hostages.
Yeah.
But we have not, we're living in the dark.
Yes.
You know, they are literally in the dark. These are people that probably have not seen daylight in 46 days. And we, in America, families, Israeli families, have very little information and are also in.
That is not an argument I would ever make, Hasan. No, man. The point is, we have an incredibly fucking weird Western-centric way of identifying homophobia and transphobia when it's very different in other countries. Like, for example, I had to sit here and for hours cover, like, gender in India, okay, and gender in Pakistan, and even gender historically in Japan. People literally think, oh no, all these other places, like, we're the most progressive, duh. All these other places, like, they are definitely way more regressive than we are. And then you realize, like, gender across the board is not, is so different culturally, okay? Is so different culturally. And yeah, there are plenty of fucking places where, like, people are way more open to trans existence and historically have had trans people exist in society. So it is this, like, weird, very American perspective. The only thing that is different between an ISIS member and some fucking psychopathic white ISIS here in America, Al-Qaeda member, is the material conditions. Our fucking fascists go to Applebee's and get into a fucking food coma every night. Their fucking fascist reactionary Salafist brigades end up actually taking over entire areas and throwing gay people off the roofs. But that doesn't mean that our fucking fat-ass fascists wouldn't do the same thing if they were dropped into a similar environment. The only difference is our fat fucking fascists are too busy chowing down on motherfucking Applebee's jalapeno poppers to actually go and fucking execute gay people in the goddamn streets. There is, like, some semblance of order here in America. Anytime I hear from some fucking psychopathic homophobe like Ben Shapiro say the dumbest thing on the planet, like, oh, well, Hamas would throw you off of a roof. Hamas would throw you off a roof. I'm like, bitch, you would too if you weren't 5'4" and living in fucking Los Angeles or Nashville, Tennessee. You would do that as well. You'd be the guy telling everybody to do that if you fucking lived there. The fuck do you mean? Your homophobia is adjusted to American standards. You are literally one of the most homophobic Americans out there. Why the fuck are you shitting on homophobia when it's like brown people doing it? This is something you have to understand. This is not about, like, our own fascist movements being way more modernized and way less barbaric than fucking reactionary fascist movements in other countries. It's just about material conditions. Oh... Anyway, it's also virtue signaling. These motherfuckers don't care about gay people, dude. They want to fucking kill. They want to kill trans people. Like, they literally openly talk about it. And then they turn around and go, it's really fucked up. Like, what? So why is it fucked up? Is it because you want to kill all the trans people and you're, like, messed up? You're upset that, like, maybe Hamas in your hypothetical is killing trans people in your stead? Is that why? Only I get to kill trans people, not Hamas. Hypothetically, I should be able to go kill the trans Palestinians, not Hamas. It's the same principle behind the bombing of the Al-Ahli hospital, not Al-Shifa, Al-Ahli. I felt like I was going crazy when people were like, well, this one was Hamas. This one was Islamic Jihad. And I'm like, okay, but you're more mad about Islamic Jihad's, like, supposed misfired rocket than, like, the fucking thousands of people that Israel killed before and after? What is the argument here? That it's, like, only all right if Israel kills Palestinians? That, like, Islamic Jihad can't accidentally kill Palestinians? It was so weird. For a month, they said this. Like, it was so stupid. And so many people went along with it. It blew my fucking mind.
in the dark.
But now you can at least hope that she's together with the family who was with her. If she is in fact released, who will get her? Where will she go?
She will go to her aunt and uncle
Who
and
live in
her
Israel.
grandparents who live in Israel and who are taking care of her older brother and sister and giving them the love and support that they need after losing their parents.
Yes. I mean, I can't imagine the trauma of this little girl at 3 years old who knows that both of her parents are dead, and then she's being held with a neighbor family. At 3, guys, you know so much at 3. What can you tell us about her, Liz?
Well, the thing that Abigail's a 3-year-old, but she's the youngest of 3. And so she had the character that was running around and keeping up with her siblings and running around playing soccer. And she was always in the front. She was not sitting back. And one of the things that she ran that house. She was the one that was running the house.
Yeah.
And, you know, we know that for her to come back, for her sister and her brother, is their one hope. Yeah. I mean, this is one of the things that we just keep hearing is that they know exactly what happened on October 7th. Yes, they witnessed it. They are 6 and 10. They understand. But the one thing that...
I'm not even trying to be mean, but if you live in Israel, don't you support the government financially at least? Bitch, if you live in America, you support the government financially. What the fuck are you talking about? Brother, I give Israel more guns and more weapons than like the average Israeli citizen does due to the amount of taxes I pay. Okay? You feel me? You understand where I'm coming from? Philion wants to come on the stream sometime? Fuck yeah. Love Philion. This is the other reason why I'm so fucking passionate about this topic is because it's like, it's my money. It's all of our money. How disgusting. I hate it. You should stop paying your taxes as financial advice. Yeah.
they also are the piece that they can only hope that will come to give some sort of an ability for a closure and to move on.
That they'll get their
is that
system
Abigail
back.
Comes back.
Yes, we all hope that.
We all hope it.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Liz, for coming in. Of course, we will stay in touch.
And I just want to say that tomorrow is Friday is Abigail's 4th birthday.
Yeah, and I know you're also worried about the other hostages. It's the first 50, but there are still many.
Michael Hastings fan. You know I know him, right? Or knew him. He was my coworker. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Yeah. Every time I drive by the place where he died, it always freaks me out. It's not in the wiki, so no. Why would I literally be in the fucking Wikipedia of Michael Hastings when I was a goddamn intern at the time where he worked at TYT or worked with TYT? But it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up because I drive by like where his car exploded after fucking hitting a tree all the time. Anyway.